So today we are going to speak about forgiveness. Why it is so important that we can do the process of forgiveness first ourselves and then others, and why it is so difficult to forgive in a true sense of the word. So the forgiveness process is a very important tool that we always can use. And why? Because the forgiveness process, it's a way, first of all, to see what do we consider justice and injustice, and how we were wounded by a person or a situation. And by seeing where we were wounded, we need then to go to a place that we allowed ourselves to go wounded, to get hurt, and why we got hurt, and how to overcome that pain, and come to a place where we can see the other person has not the person that hurted us because they wanted, but because somehow they were in a very unconscious place, and to understand the reasons behind. And even if we don't understand the reasons behind how to liberate ourselves from that pain, how to let go, and to take us from this position that the pain becomes the poison. Our true essence is pure consciousness. And if it's pure consciousness can't be hurt. The only thing that can really be hurt is our personality structure and our ego and our emotional body that is totally attached to our personality structure. What happened is the wounds that we carry from the pain that we think that someone inflicted on us is the emotional part of the personality structure that is being wounded. Because our true essence is not possible to be wounded, because, I will repeat, is just pure consciousness. Of course, this explained like this is very beautiful. But when I feel that I was mistrusted and I was wounded, emotionally, I really get hurt, and it's really painful. Forgiveness, it's something that will require a bigger trust in yourself. That's why it's so hard to accept that, to forgive others, to let go the attachment of the emotions that we carry of being hurt. Because the attachment to emotions of your emotional body, of your rational mind, is still giving you the right to think in a certain way, to be connected of what you think that you are. The forgiveness process is bringing you into a journey that will surrender you to something bigger than your personality. And the trust is, and that is the most difficult thing, how this life is so unfair, how people can be so mean, and how we are so separated. And that's why it's so hard. We don't want to let go. We don't want to recognize in the other this true fountain of life. We don't want to recognize in ourselves this true fountain. We are attached to these personality games of power that is so wounded. That's why so mad to receive recognition, so mad to run away from all the feelings, from pain, from love, from joy, that we are always running for something. And this forgiveness process will require true trust in this pure consciousness, that we go beyond our judgment about the horrible actions that we all do. And that requires that we connect to our own soul, to our own consciousness, and we detach ourselves from the personality games that we all live in. It's not easy. It's not easy. But it's really possible, and it's really liberating. Forgiving doesn't mean that you agree. Forgiving doesn't mean that you relate with that person. Forgiving doesn't mean that you don't set limits, clear limits, and you say no. Forgiving doesn't mean that you don't feel the pain. Forgiving doesn't mean that you become the false spiritual person. Doesn't mean that you are now pure love. No. Forgiving means that you do your own process to see why you were wounded, why you criticize, why you judge, and how you can position yourself. Forgiving means that you work with yourself till a place that you can find compassion to yourself and to others. Forgiving means that you liberate yourself from the hook of the pain that our ego structure and personality love so much to be attached. Forgiven means to be in consciousness and to rise above everything that normally we want to be attached. When we start to work with our emotional body and personality structure, we need to understand in the emotional body, in the personality structure, what was our responsibility in the wounds where we got wounded. If we had a responsibility of getting wounded because we position ourselves, because we don't put limits, because we allow, we need to heal and to work in healing this part that we were responsible. And through this process of healing and becoming responsible, we will come to a place that we understand why we put ourselves there, and we start to find compassion for this wounded part that we all carry. When we arrive to the wounded parts of ourselves and we start to have compassion, we can look to the other person, and even not knowing the reasons of her actions and behaviors, we automatically know for sure there was a reason why that person was behaving in that sense of hurting another human being. And the true compassion for that person, even if we don't agree, even if we put boundaries, even if we cut relations, we understand that the wounded part of that person was in control, was acting out from the very unconscious part, because his true essence is not that. Forgive is when you really find peace inside of you, even if sometimes when you remember, you feel the shock and the trauma of the situation. But it's when you don't feel the need to the mind to have reasons to still be in the story, for the emotions to rise strongly about something or about someone. Is when you are free, when you see the situation or the person, and there's a neutrality, because you already turned this pain into a process. When you are working, when you really start to becoming responsible for your position, you will see that step by step you will find, through emotional liberation, this deep compassion towards to yourself and automatically for the other. And then this compassion has a timing for you. It's a certain time, for another person is a different time. That will start to melt all the strong emotions, and step by step you will melt this projection of these strong emotions on the other. And you will see that everyone in his true essence is not what they inflict or they do, including yourself. That it was your unconscious part that brought you to some actions, or that person too. And when we come to a point that we can already see that, we start to melt easily these strong emotions towards the other person or to ourselves. I'm a terrible person, I did this. You will see how you start to melt. And through that, layer by layer, will bring you to a more neutrality space, a neutral space inside of yourself, and more inner peace. When you see that you don't have direct responsibility, it's a choice to start to working with that. Is where prayer really comes in, not in a religious place, but like inner dialogue from you to yourself, higher self, directly to yourself, to your heart, to God, to the mystery, to life, that you are, please help me to transform these strong emotions from, for example, this abuse, this torture. Please, I want to release this. And when you start to release, to pray for this, you will see that you will come to a point, no matter how much time you will bring, that your mind understands already that yes, this person had to be in a very wounded place and very unconscious to inflict that on me. When we go to this place where we really ask for help to melt all these strong feelings of unfair, what are we doing? We are opening the door to this bigger trust of life.